I'm waiting for my job interview to start with an ice cream shop. I'm just starting to be impatient and lose my mind, so I'm gonna start the week 9 video. Hi guys. What has even happened since I last did one of these? I feel like a lot. Some crazy shit is going on in my brain, which I'll, detail at a later time, but some big things are happening. Big things coming. Week 9, I think, was compassion. Hopefully it's compassion. I'll fact check that later. There were a bunch of different exercises concerning fear and concerning self-compassion. I think that self-compassion is something that I struggle with both as an artist and as a normal person. I'm getting nervous because my job interview is looming. Hopefully I get the job. Everybody manifest, put your hands together. If you feel so inclined to pray or visualize me working at an ice cream shop in your mind's eye. Really visualize it and soak in the feeling of it and allow it to come to fruition for me. Hey y'all, I'm back. I don't know if I got the job yet, but fingers crossed. I felt very good about the interview. It, realistically is probably supposed to be the end of the program right now based on when I started, but life got in the way. I want to start this video with a quote, actually, from a video that I found a little while ago. I forget what it's called. I'm gonna link it. I remember it being fire as hell, so I want to read this for you. Practice. The repeated, intentional refinement of a skill or understanding through focus, effort, and discipline with the goal of mastery or growth. It is the bridge between raw potential and materialism. Practice is not an external task to be pursued or chased, but an internal process of transformation, with its results naturally emerging as an outward expression of inner change. I've been thinking about practice a lot today because I'm writing my final project for the electronic music minor. I'm actually not done with the minor, at all. It's just for this class. And so it's making me reflect quite a bit on not just the coursework that I've taken, but my actual evolution as an artist and what I've learned in college thus far. And I realized that what's carried me through my music making and my art and all of these things, even when I've had all of these big challenges in doing them, a lot of them being internal challenges. I had horrible writer's block for years. I just lose my motivation quickly. I get distracted easily, being depressed and not wanting to do shit. All of these things, sticking with music through that has given me all the benefits of a more concentrated practice. I guess you could quantify what I've been doing as concentrated practice, but it's never felt concentrated. It's just that I've stuck with a craft, and now I have developed a craft, and that craft I'm specifically talking about is music. Music production, obviously, is more of a technical skill that I've developed. And I just haven't taken a linear path at all towards learning all the things that I've learned, but doing them again and again and again, even if it's a completely different process every time, even if it's scattered, even if it's messy, has still given me the benefits of practice. The repetition has cemented certain things into my brain. The creativity flows out of me insanely easy as opposed to how it was even a couple years ago. I've written a lot of stuff for my second album within the last 2 months. And it'll be in spurts of a couple days. I'll write all this shit. An hour ago I was writing a song that made me cry. He made Hyun damn gay ass self cry with he damn gay song. And it just half of it just came out of me. I feel like I've exercised this muscle, the muscle being flow, through repetition. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm not so inhibited by all of my own limitations, and my flow is flowing. I always say that I think music production is a really worthy endeavor to get into, but I don't envy anyone getting into it now. If you're thinking of getting into music production, don't let that dissuade you. Get into it. You honestly will probably have better luck than I did. I started when I was 13, and between the ages of 13 and 18, just a bunch of shit was going on, and I also just refused to learn in any real substantial way. I just fucked around and I experimented, and it still got me to where I am now. I feel like I'm a pretty good producer. I'm at least intermediate. But no, literally 5 years of stagnation. inexplicably, and then suddenly all the skills finally started coming together, and then I could actually make shit. And so thank God for practice, because, or I guess thank God for repetition, because again, I didn't feel like I was practicing, I was just throwing shit at the wall. But it got me through this stagnation. It did eventually get me to a point where I am good enough at what I do that my limitations aren't like impeding my workflow and my creativity and my process. And if you're just like, if you want so desperately to make music and make something beautiful and, you know, make it sound like it does in your head, and you're just staring at FL Studio and you're like, I don't even know how to like click out of this window, much less like make a beat, much less make what I like want to make. It's an infuriating process. I was reawakened to that process recently because I've been learning Photoshop and Premiere, and Photoshop has made me want to fucking kill myself. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Photoshop has made me unhappy at times. I am only just starting to get the hang of it now. I've been making like kind of shitty graphics on Photoshop all year. I have it like free with my university. Just shout out to anybody who's trying to learn a program that will facilitate their skill. Before you're working with it, it just feels like a weird third party in between you and the thing that you want to make. And it's like, I have to fucking learn like Photoshop shortcuts for this. I have to learn FL Studio. It's like the worst fate that anybody could ever subject themselves to, learning FL Studio. Low-key, Ableton on top. That's my thoughts on practice, and I do really, really encourage anybody who is watching this who is thinking about practicing their skill more. I would say focus less on the concentration of it. Although once you can get to the point where you can really concentrate and you can make like a ritualistic process out of your practice, of course that's gonna be cool and rewarding. But don't think of it as such a massive endeavor, like you need to get to that point yet, and you need to have your craft and you need to be locked into it. You just gotta start doing it wherever you're at right now. Even if it's just a little bit, even if you're throwing shit at the computer because you hate Ableton so much. I can't imagine hating Ableton that much. I hope you get what I'm saying. Start where you are now. I'm really glad I started where I was when I was 13 and knew nothing, and I'm glad I stuck with it through the 5 years of not being able to make anything meaningful. Because now I love music production. And not just music production, but I love songwriting, and I love singing. I'm a way better singer than I was even like a year ago, much less when I was 13. And I love organizing shows, and I love I honestly am starting to like Photoshop. I like Premiere. I fuck with it. I got some other crafts that I'm maybe not quite as good at. I like to draw. Yeah, I don't know, my writing, all of these things, I've just been doing this out of passion. And passion will carry you very far past discipline. And that's in the artist week. It's in the artist way for this week. Like that exact quote. Let me find it. Also, I'm doing this to procrastinate my finals. I have an essay, it's like a 12-page essay that I only have an outline for, and it's due tomorrow night. And it's 9:25, Thursday. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, here it is. Over time, artistry requires enthusiasm over discipline, enthusiasm being a spiritual commitment rather than a headspace. Our artist child can best be enticed to work by treating work as play. Any kind of self-discipline is so difficult for me that I've had to start tracking my habits in this like other notebook, because I can see that my habits, like my day-to-day habits and the lack of discipline in them, are like the main thing ruining my life. I can't get out of bed in the morning. I struggle to eat 3 meals. I keep like fucking like forgetting to go outside. Like all of these things that I hope that awareness will bring change. Because I don't even think about them as I'm doing them. I just kind of live this generally undisciplined life. And the words discipline in that context like always evoke to me like either like wellness influencers and freaks, or like just like a different kind of wellness influencer freak. I don't want to, you know, hate myself and my habits into a better life. I know that's obviously not going to work. But I have been thinking about discipline through that lens of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm for myself and for my life. And knowing that if that's the basis of my discipline, that will take me a lot further than running against the wall again and again, being like, why am I not getting through? You know, just out of the rule that I should be doing it. Be rushing, but you won't be getting very far. And I'm noticing that for myself in the way that I've been trying to change my sleeping and eating habits since they developed when I was like 12 or something, and like nothing has worked because I haven't ever thought of it as like a, wait, I just want to live like a better life. Like I want to live a happier life. That's a good motivation. There doesn't have to be any self-hate involved. I don't have to wake up and be like, God, I have to stop saying that. I don't feel good about my life today because I woke up at 11:30 every single day. That can change, and it can change without hating myself for it. That was a lot of what we talked about. This was recovering a sense of compassion this week, and I was thinking a lot about compassion for myself in instances where my like discipline has failed, and being like, I'm not going to be able to jump back on that wagon if I'm like just stuck hating myself for having fallen off the wagon. I feel like I need a quicker recoup time. You know, if I'm like, God, like I was supposed to do the Artist Way videos and it's been 3 weeks and like I'm falling off with it, or like I was supposed to have my album out by now and I don't, and all of these artistic discipline things. And then, you know, my habits and my procrastination with school. I feel like I spend so much time just thinking about how I fucked it up instead of just trying expediently to unfuck it up without assigning any kind of like value judgment to myself for having fucked it up. So I guess that's where compassion would come in. Self-compassion is a new idea to me. It's hard for me to understand treating myself well or badly. I just kind of exist in a neutral state, first person experience, and I'm not thinking about what I deserve and I'm not thinking about what I don't deserve. You know, it doesn't sway too negatively or positively, but that neutrality has still kind of started to veer towards negativity. And so I think I do need to be more consciously compassionate to myself. Whatever the fuck that means, we'll find out. Blasting through blocks. Resentments in regard... Oh, this was really good, actually. This was very freeing. I think at this point, Julia, of The Artist Way, assumes that we have awakened ourselves enough that we are working on a project because she started talking to us directly about our project. And this is great for me because this whole time I have been working on a project. So she had us list out our resentments and our fears regarding the project. And this was cool and good. And for me. Resentments in regards to this project. I said, I resent my limitations as a singer. I resent my limitations as a producer. I resent myself for delaying recording and releases. I resent Ryan for taking a long time to mix my shit. I resent the other artists featured on this album for taking so long on their contributions. I resent the current state of the music industry for being so dependent on and influenced by social media. I resent the average Via Reels audience member listening to my music. I resent myself for letting my limitations affect my confidence and for being too scared to really commit to and sell my music. That's another, like, had to write it out as fast as possible. If my collaborators on the album are watching this, I love you guys so much, and I don't actually resent you. We just had to list out anything that frustrated us at any point in this project, but I want you to know that I appreciate your contributions and shit happens and life takes a long time and it's okay that you took a long time to do it, and I love Play Dead. And I love the mixes of my songs. They're great songs. There were other collaborators that were like supposed to be on the album, and then it just kept being like, yeah, I'll let you know. And then like no one let me know, and then I just got mad. It's out on the page now. Any and all fears regarding this project being Desire Drives a Dull Knife, my album. I'm afraid I'll find out I'm not talented. I'm afraid my creative limitations will really affect my work. I'm afraid no one will like it. I'm afraid no one will get it. I'm afraid it'll go overlooked. I'm afraid the album sounds inconsistent. I'm afraid my songwriting is trite. I'm afraid this album suffers from excessive melodrama. I'm afraid it won't be accessible. I'm afraid it won't get the amount of success or praise that I want it to or believe that it deserves. I'm afraid I have an inflated or unrealistic sense of deserving when it comes to music. This is just like a bunch of words. Fecund, perfidious, inviolate, ignominy, gradations, palliate. This is the wrong page. I'm afraid I'll take too long to make it and lose people's interest in the meantime. I'm afraid it'll be unfinished. I'm afraid it'll be underwhelming. I'm afraid it won't live up to its potential. I'm afraid the mixing will be bad. I'm afraid I'll let the mixing be bad. I'm afraid my production will be messy or amateur, that my vocals will sound bad. I'm afraid I won't achieve commercial success. I'm afraid that wanting that kind of success makes me vain or selfish. I'm afraid it'll get too much success and change my life and my art in a negative way. And I'm afraid of being famous, and I'm afraid of not being famous. And I hope to hit the sweet spot. But generally the consensus is I'm afraid. And so then the next question was like, what else are you afraid of? And it was like, no, really think about it. And I was like sitting in lecture having written all this, and I was like, doesn't that like cover all bases? It's everything I could possibly be afraid of. And she was like, no, there's more. And so then I was like, shit, there are more. I'm afraid Valley Girls and 6 a.m. Forever Girl will sound bad. Here it is. I'm afraid I won't be able to get it on Apple Music. This is a very real possibility, and I'm really scared. Apple Music thinks that I'm plagiarizing my own music. It won't allow me to upload music just under Cadence, but I like refuse to change my name across platforms. So I uploaded it under a different name, and it was like Cadence with 3 E's. And then it was like, you're ripping this bitch Cadence off. Like, we already heard her music on Spotify, so you're getting banned. So I can't upload shit on Apple Music, and like, I feel like I'm losing possible listeners to that. Like, a lot of people couldn't listen to Universal Appeal. Pray for me that they unban me. I'm afraid the Crystal Castle sample in Front Porch Song will get taken down. Yeah, that's also a really real possibility, but I'm afraid I'm not doing enough promo. I'm afraid my promo will be cheesy and people will make fun of me for trying. I'm just gonna like I'm actually cutting all of this because some of this I'm not gonna tell you guys because I don't want to put that idea in your head. I hate when I'm listening to a song and I like it and then somebody like points something out about the song and now I can only hear that thing and like it would have been perfectly good. So I'm gonna cut some of that, but just imagine that I'm really afraid. I'll just skip ahead. It's like, I'm afraid this project's too ambitious. I'm afraid I should be trying harder. I'm afraid I'm being lazy when I don't go to the studio or go the extra mile with my production, etc., etc. What do I stand to gain by not doing this work? Is the next question. She said, be really, really honest. So I said, if I don't finish or put out Desire Drives a Dull Knife, I can always operate under the idea that I could do better. I won't have to face my actual abilities or limitations. I can talk about my music in the abstract without thinking about it that hard or having people hear and judge it. I can maintain the idea that I can always do something else that will make me more money, and I can kill more of my free time. Those are the things that I could do if I set aside this project and I didn't do it anymore. Then she had to say this. Okay, creative force. You take care of the quality and I will take care of the quantity. And it is so. Then she had us take stock of what we've been complaining about lately. I said, this will be interesting because it was a couple weeks ago. I wonder what I was complaining about. All the tickets I'm getting lately, how I don't know how to pay them off, oversleeping, our broken sink, God, that was such a fucking L. I'm so glad our sink is fixed now. Our broken shower, that's still kind of broken. My constant fatigue, my bug bites, and then what have I allowed myself to change or accept? I seem to have actually accepted the present moment and my current reality. I noticed this a couple months ago. I felt for most of the time that I've spent here, and plenty of times throughout my life otherwise, that I am always longing for something past this point in my life, in the future, something that I don't have or something I can't have. And not only am I longing for it, but because I don't have it, the present moment is never enough. I'm sure some of that is the human condition, but it has pervaded my life so intensely that I just can't be satisfied with anything. And there are still a lot of things I don't have that I want, and I still feel strongly about them. But I don't even know if it's like I wouldn't change the present moment if I could. It's just like I have no desire to even think like that. I feel like what I have now is plentiful, and I feel like at very least I can just accept it, just not assign value to the present moment. Like I am just living the life that I have, and I'm living it fine. I don't feel like I need to escape anything, even things that are really getting me down or putting me in a bad mood or taking me out of the moment a little bit. I do feel like I'm here in this moment. This is a really big deal for me, and I have no idea how I did it. I think I fried my brain by doing a lot of psychedelics. But maybe I didn't fry it. Maybe... actually, maybe it was a good thing, because here I am accepting the present moment. All these other crazy changes have been happening in my brain lately. Some of those I don't even want to really share because they're things I don't fully understand yet, but I can tell my mode of operating is changing. And it feels like I'm growing up, but in a really fruitful and solid way. I feel like my foundation is more solid. It feels like maturing, but it feels like something is being gained and not lost. I feel more playful and creative and curious than I did a year ago. I mean, I've been dealing with moving away shit and heartbreak shit and all these things I'm sure were taking me really out of the moment. Now I want to have fun. And I want to have like real fun, like not distraction. I just feel like there is so much for me. Abundance, low-key. That's where I'm at right now. Visualize, number 2. In the present moment, I am. Oh, this was a manifestation thing. She had us detail exactly what we want our lives to be like and, you know, speak it in the present moment. This is like a law of assumption thing, which I thought was kind of cool. In the present moment, I am a musician with the exact amount of success I've hoped for. Coming back to that one. I'm regarded as an auteur, hopefully I said that right, a super producer, but I have a great deal of personal privacy and normalcy around my friends and family. I tour, I organize huge community music events, and I somehow know everyone. That's already kind of happening. Making meaningful connections everywhere I go. I have the budget to fully execute my vision, videos and visuals, live sets and sense of style, and my music equipment, and I use my leverage to do all kinds of cool creative shit, constantly surprising people with what I do next. I had a really organic come up, doing all kinds of community organizing and working in zines and being a part of local scenes, so a lot of my collaborators are people I know well, and I brought a lot of success to other people with my own success. I do interviews with artsy magazines and radio stations and shit. I'm like Okay Lou or McGee, kind of niche, just living, but really dialed with a huge creative scope. Those are the 2 artists I keep kind of thinking about lately, is like, I don't think I would recognize Okay Lou or McGee like walking down the street, and if I did, it probably wouldn't be like a life-changing event. I'd be like, cool. And like it's not really a level of true celebrity, which I think is alienating and terrifying and weird and anti-everything that I believe in. But I have kind of come to terms with the fact I do want recognition for this. I'm sharing my like soul and all of my passion, and I think I make really good shit, and I think I'm good at what I do. And so I do want some level of recognition for that. I have admitted this to myself via the artist way, which made me do that back in like week 4 or something. Crazy stuff. And so I like the idea of having that, you know, ability to make music such an instrumental part of my life, and for that to be how people know me, but it's still something that was grounded in like a real concrete space. It wasn't just the internet that took me there. That I also am like, my friendships are really important to me, and experiencing all that life has to offer and not having that be like stunted by having to constantly perpetuate some like fucking media image or like tour constantly so that I don't die or something like that. Like, I do want to still have some normalcy in my life, and so that's what I'm reaching for, and what I really do feel like will come to fruition. I just don't know when. You take care of the quality and I'll take care of the quantity. Number 3 priorities. Creative goals 1 year, work for a festival, shebang or other. Play a festival or something similar. Play shows in a broader scope. LA, the Bay, Santa Cruz, SLO, etc. Get my music more heavily in circulation in my local scene. Become a resource, a well-known organizer. Get my music to breach the scene through the internet or otherwise. CD release. Form a band. Form a real band. I've been playing in kind of botched band setups for a while. It's been fun, but we're not a band. Release videos, build a bigger presence on social media. I don't know how to do that. I'm kind of suffering. I am kind of loving the YouTube community that's been cultivated here so much more than any other like traction I've gotten from the internet ever before. And that's funny because like YouTube algorithm is like evil. I mean, I guess they're all kind of evil. And I can like barely even stand watching YouTube if it's not, like I don't watch it unless it's on Firefox with the ad block off. I think the platform is eating itself alive. I think everybody who uses it feels that. And yet, something about YouTube algorithm has taken me, I think, to the audience that would enjoy these kind of videos. I've received some wonderful and beautiful messages from you guys, and I hope y'all who leave those know that I like think about them as I'm going about my day. It's really cool. There's this weird sense of something special like happening on this channel. I have no idea what's gonna happen with everything that I make, but I know something special is coming and is already starting to happen. Y'all are here for it. And we're here together. And we're both girls. Oh, and then I wrote my creative goals 1 month. Release Desire Drives a Dull Knife. I hope this wasn't a month ago that I wrote this, but whatever. Desire Release Party. Play at least one show, organize at least one show. Finish filming Keep in Touch music video. Release Keep in Touch music video. Film for Devotion and Alone and Paper Cranes. Radio fundraising moment. Rambler Shebang Digizine. Lightning in a Bottle press coverage. Finish Artist Way and release last few Artist Way vids. No idea if I accomplished those. I will accomplish all of them. Some of them I have. I did press for Shebang and Lightning in a Bottle already. Shout out Shebang. Creative goals 1 week. Figure out lineup for Wave Show. I did that. Work on prospective Nick lineup. I'm not gonna get into that right now. That's later. Start asking house and artists about Desire Show and Party. Album photo shoot. Add bassline to Shrimps. Send Shrimps. Record for Rot Song. Send Rot Song. Record harmonies and backing vox for Devotion. Restring guitar. I never did that. Film week 8 and 9. Here we are now. Upload. Record Rot Song outro. Did that yesterday. 3 days ago? Start teaser. Teaser will team. Creative U-turns. We had to write down like fucked up things that have happened to us in our like journey that we were taking towards achieving our creative goals, and my number one is in freshman year of college when I didn't know how to start a band, so I made my Tinder bio to say I wanted to start a band, and I had a boyfriend, and I told my boyfriend like I want to do this thing, and he was like go for it, but he actually meant that in a passive aggressive way that I didn't pick up on, so I just thought that I was like, I'm just starting a band. So then he was pretty mad at me, which was like kind of fair, but also it was just a really like bad miscommunication. And then I just felt like really defeated, and I was like, I actually have no idea how to start a band. I like could only think of Tinder because I just like had a bunch of matches and shit, and I was like, surely like someone wants to start a band and not just have sex with me. And then I was defeated, and then I like didn't try to join a band again for like several months until I joined Music Production Union. Lol. And then I got really depressed, which might have been separate. Plenty of fruitless jam sessions where I felt limited by my own lack of skill, especially if I'm like supposed to be the guitarist for some like jam session. I'm like, sorry, I don't know anything. I know 13 chords. I can like kind of hold a bar chord now. Never getting close to finishing the book I wrote in high school. That one, you know, floats around the back of my brain sometimes. Not using some of the equipment that I begged family members for years. Like, I have a deck, a Pioneer deck, that I just have not been able to figure out how to get to work with either Rekordbox or Serato yet, so I still can't really DJ. This has been a thing for many years, is like the thing that my whole extended family will know that I want is always some kind of music equipment. And it's been great, like over the last 8 or 9 years, my family has been able to fund a lot of my music, which has been awesome. Bought me FL Studio when I was basically a child. Yeah, just like equipment on my birthday and stuff. Like I have an MPD that I only just started using, and I got it when I was like 15. I wanted that MPD so fucking badly. Guilt and shame, especially because like some of this equipment, it's not like wildly expensive, but it's still like not a negligible amount of money, and it's like, what do I look like asking my family to pay for some shit I don't use? So that's felt like a creative U-turn. I started my morning pages again, kind of. I wrote that down here, start morning pages. What creative dreams are now lurching towards possibility? Playing with a band, and going to Lightning in a Bottle on Press Pass. I did that. Releasing Alone and releasing Desire. Soon, bro, soon. I should really start promoting the actual album on this account. Guys, listen to my album if you feel so inclined. I admit that all of this that I just wrote scares me. It says that right there at the end. I think that was it. Interesting stuff. I'm feeling reinvigorated and excited about The Artist's Way. Maybe just because I'm procrastinating on my deadlines, but... Oh, God. I'm so hungry. And I just have like gluten-free Oreos. I have 3 containers of gluten-free Oreos. I'm not gluten-free. They're like kind of salty. I have half a smoked sausage and some blueberries and some ramen with nothing on it. I do actually have food now that I'm thinking about it. All of those I can live something up. I just want a burger. Oh my God. Hopefully next time you see me, I'll be graduated. And Alone will be out. My song Alone will be out. See y'all later. Thank you for watching.